New hair who dis. Hey, how you doing? Sorry it's been a while, but just after I launched the channel, I kind of got cancer again and had to face major surgery. But I'm all good now. So thank you for bearing with me. Hey, I'm Heather from Horror Girly. And if you like talking about horror and want to hear more of my reviews, please hit subscribe and the little bell icon, and I absolutely promise you will actually see some videos from me this year. So I thought I'd celebrate my own new do by reviewing festival favourite The Stylist, which sees murderous hairdresser Claire get far too close to one of her clients, Olivia. The Stylist enjoys general release on the 1st of March, and it's an enjoyable watch that I recommend you see. I think what I enjoyed most about The Stylist was its characters. I mean, certainly Claire as a character is so relatable and so beautifully played by Najarra Townsend as well. So, okay, Claire is a serial killer, but we've all been in situations where we've really downplayed our own qualities, which in Claire's case, she's beautiful, she's stylish, she's softly spoken, well regarded by her clients and her colleagues, yet she covets the life of the hair of the woman in front of her. And certainly at its basic level, I know I've had hair envy in the past, but going deeper, part of the female experience, I think, is riddled with insecurity and that tendency to compare ourselves to others to the extent we downplay our own qualities. And from that perspective, I think the Stylist portrayed an interesting commentary on life there, and likewise with the friendships. Now, this was really interesting because friendships and how they develop are often not really explored in films. I mean, think of it. You tend to either have the established best friends, or there's the sort of the we fell out years ago and now we're enemies. If there's any budding relationship, it's always in a romantic sense and never in this sense, which is of friendship between two women. So you have the sort of open and gregarious Olivia, played by Brea, who has that very girl next door quality. And again, I'm like this in that I'll bustle in, I'll talk to everyone with no filter, and then suddenly I'm surrounded by people and that person is a friend. And I think it's a relatable quality, and we've been at the receiving end where Claire is very reserved, very shy, awkward, lonely, so she jumps at the chance of friendship initially with Olivia. And you see that a real sort of warmth develop, that hope, that anticipation, even to the extent where Claire is prepared to leave a rather difficult past and her murderous tendencies aside. And then that any hopes of a real friendship get sort of dashed to one side, where Claire unfortunately hears herself being talked about by the rest of Olivia's friends, who are not too kind in what they were saying. And again, we've been at the receiving end of that. So you see it go from, this hope of this friendship to, again, Claire coveting Olivia's life, wanting to be Olivia, and the extremes that she goes to get that. So, a horror centered around what for me is the female experience is really wonderful. And of course the cinematography, the styling, colour palette, it was just so slick, so you've become very quickly immersed in this world. No film is without its imperfections, and for a truly flawless finish, The Stylist could have done with fixing its plot holes. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not so big that they detract from the main story in any way, but I did find myself thinking about them, like, where does Claire hide the bodies? I mean, what does she do with them? We know that she keeps the scalps, but what about the rest of them? And I don't know, I just found myself wondering, and why does no one come looking for these women? I mean, the first victim was from out of town, and I don't know, your phone would track your whereabouts. So yeah, and one victim was just left bleeding on her own living room carpet. Did no one think to check in with her after a couple of days? Maybe ask a few questions? And I think there was I don't know, a lost opportunity to really build some tension, additional tension into the plot there. But that's me. And what I would say is it's an otherwise enjoyable watch. So just allow yourself to be swept away with Claire's story and her obsession with Olivia, because those final scenes are chef's kiss, definitely. So what did you think of The Stylist? Feel free to comment below. Or even if you just made it this far, it would be really fun and very confusing if you just write, "I'll have a mullet, please," in the comments box below. And I will see you soon and hope you have a good day. Bye.